Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sporting160EN podcast. We're on episode 161. And today we've got a very jam-packed episode. Before we get into anything, let me introduce you to my co-host. First, got the main man, Chris. How you doing today, man?
I am great. Happy to be back. Been traveling for work for the last 2 weeks, so I've been absent for the pod, but still plugged in as always. The big trip for me is coming up this end of this week where I'm going to Portugal. That's the pleasure trip. That's the one that really matters. So excited for that. Don't think I'll be I was worried about, the tickets for Gil Vicente already came out. Now I'm not really too worried about them selling out. I'm just going to stroll in there pretty casually and pick them up, I imagine. But, yeah, I'm ready to talk about the low. You guys got to talk about the high last week. I guess now it's time to talk about the low this week.
Yeah, unfortunately. And last but not least, my main man, Danny. How you doing today, man?
Yeah, good. Like Chris said, I was so high last week that now it's like such a weird feeling. But I guess it's a normal feeling for a Sporting160. But yeah, otherwise I'm good, man. Good.
Yeah, good. I guess without further ado, we'll get into the Twitter questions. We have two questions, like two tweets, but we have quite a few questions in the tweets. So let me just get it up for you. Cool. I think that's up. Cool. Paul Rodriguez asks, with the league likely being out of reach, what is your expectations for Sporting this season? What place would you like to finish? Chris, I'll give that one to you first. What are your expectations for Sporting right now?
I still think our expectations should be at the minimum top 3. Top 4 seems like a very unambitious goal that you would think would still be achievable even if we are pretty bad. Which, it remains to be seen what we settle into, what our norm or what our mean actually settles into being. But yeah, I mean, not getting in the Champions League is going to be really bad for the club in a lot of ways. So I think that we need to put ourselves in a position to at least enter the competition via the playoff,
Yeah, fair enough. Danny, I'll ask you the same question. Are you the sort of same answer as Chris?
Yeah, I mean, expectations and where I think we'll finish is actually like two different things in my eyes. I think we'll finish in 4th. Expectations are hopefully 2nd or 3rd, right? Yeah. But yeah, man, it's not looking good. Benfica's what, 11 points now?
Yeah, exactly 11.
Porto, we could have gotten 2 points to Porto. We ended up being 6. It's not good, bruv. It's not good. At least in the league, it's not good. Let's drop down to the Europa League, try to win it just so we can make Champions League, or let's try to win the Champions League so we're guaranteed next year, because otherwise, I don't know.
Try to get as much funds as possible by winning as many games and getting as far as possible.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just as Richard said as well, for me, like if we finish 3rd and win like a Taça de Portugal or a Taça de Liga, man, that's calm by me. Even if we get to like the round 16 as well, especially as the first seed will be be better as well. Although, like me and Danny mentioned last time, there's still quite a lot of good second seeded teams as it stands to go through. Yeah, maybe a Taça de Portugal, and I think it's got to be 3rd place. But with Braga, like Lauren just said, with Braga looking strong, we might very well be aiming for top 4 at the moment. Like, fair play to Braga. They've looked fantastic, and they had their doubters. Like, everyone's saying, are they going to slip up eventually? It's not come yet. So, yeah, maybe it'll be Braga challenging for 2nd, the way Porto are playing, challenging for 3rd, and that leaves us 4th for, like, knock on wood, hopefully not, potentially even lower. But yeah. Danny, I asked you this one as well. What loss so far in the season do you guys consider the worst, versus Chaves or Boavista? And I guess I'll throw Porto in there if you want as well.
No, Porto is whatever, because Porto, I mean, it's against one of the bigger ones, and we just lost Mateus. Chaves hurt because it was one right after Porto, but this Boavista one hurts because we seen what we did against Tottenham, and to not go away and get anything at the Bessa. I mean, we'll talk about that penalty, but and then the throwing in of Vizcayu. Honestly, I think Boavista hurts more because I think we played a lot better against Boavista than we did against Chaves. And I think with Boavista, we at least deserved something. I mean, we scored right in the first half, but it was offside. I think if that goal goes through, we're good. And then their goal was just bullshit, and then not bullshit, like stupidity from our part, and then they scored a banger. So fair play to them. But I think Boavista hurts a bit more, just because I thought we were finally getting on the right track too.
Yeah, fair enough. Chris, are you inclined to agree?
Yeah. I think the quote from midweek was from Ruben Amorim was, "Don't get too high off the Tottenham game, because if we don't win this weekend, we'll be right back in the same spot we were before this game." He was right about that one, because they are just back in the same crisis that they were in before.
Yeah, fair enough.
And now they have a 2-week break to think about their actions without getting to fully practice together or anything.
Yeah, so that's going to be fun. Yeah. At least none of them went to Portugal, leading up to our next question. But
if anything, it'll buy us some time with all our injuries, 2 weeks.
Yeah, true.
Or time for people to pick up new injuries with their national teams.
Yeah, very true.
Klotz, I'm looking at you. Oh, no, he didn't go. Ugarte, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go the one against Chaves just because it was at home and we didn't score. Whereas Boavista, I don't one of those and I didn't expect to lose, but when you're away, the circumstance that it happened, it was one. I don't like to shit on just one player, but it was one man's stupidity leading to the goal. Whereas Chaves, definitely a lot more people are at fault, and I guess you can say the whole team was at fault because we didn't score. We only scored once. But for me, Chaves being at home, one of the early games of the season, I believe that was just after Porto, right? Or was that before?
Yeah, just after. Yeah,
just after. Yeah, so it was time to bounce back, and then we looked even worse. So for me, that one, because if we beat Chaves and lose here, obviously it's still annoying, but it doesn't look as bad. But I think with a Chaves loss, especially a newly promoted team as well,
Boavista are on fire this season. They've been killing it. They've been doing really well so far. So fair play. Yeah. I think it also hurts more for me too because Porto had just lost, so we're already thinking okay, it's back on. We're about to get 2 points.
Yeah, and just to James, there's a lot of football to be played, but 11 points back is
tough.
Is very
the Portuguese league, it's tough.
Porto dropped one game last year. They lost once.
Yep.
And the way Benfica are playing, and you can say what you want about the referees and stuff. They don't look like they're dropping points anytime soon. So.
Nope.
Yeah, sorry, Chris, you were saying something?
I was just saying Porto actually didn't lose. They tied on a 99th minute penalty.
Yes, true.
That was it, yeah.
They should have lost. Yet again, something fishy happens in each studio, but hey.
Next question, I'll give it to you both. I'll start with you, Danny. Should Pot or Inácio should have been selected to the Portuguese national team?
I mean, considering who they brought up, I think Pot should have been. But, in all honesty, no, they shouldn't have been selected. Pot, though, has been playing well. I don't think it warrants a call-up necessarily, seeing as how Sporting's doing. Inácio, maybe with Pep going out, I thought that was the likely answer, but hey, I wouldn't put it past Fernando Santos to get that Benfica kid either. So no, they didn't deserve. They don't deserve to be selected
because he's not replacing Pep.
Yeah, true.
Why?
That's stupid.
Yeah,
you bring a 39-year-old who, if anything, needs to rest now before the World Cup. Yeah, and I mean, let's not even talk about for Porto, he needs to rest, but let's say rest for the World Cup. But instead, he brings him, he gets hurt or whatever, or makes an excuse to leave, and has no want to pick up another one. And we're already short center backs as it is. We only have 2 in Danilo.
Danilo and Diaz, baby.
Danilo Diaz and the kid from Lille. What's his name?
Thiago Jalot.
Jalot, exactly.
Yeah. Chris, do you think either of them two should have been called up as well?
Honestly, Inácio, his play has not warranted a call, if we're being completely honest. But in theory, another center back should be going. There's a couple decent young ones. I mean, if he got called in as an alternate, I would understand, and it would make sense to me,
Yeah.
What do you guys think of Gonçalo Ramos instead of Pot? To replace Rafa, by the way.
Very classic.
Weird.
Also, if the story about Fernando Santos calling him is true, That really just
Yeah.
shows you that
Yeah.
he's not in charge of that fucking squad list, bro. He's just a puppet.
Or he's a gaslighter, you know?
No, I think he's literally just not
A puppet. I'm with you.
fully in control of things there. In control of some things, but not all things.
Yeah, but personally, I would have maybe thought Trincao over Pot at the moment. I know
Fair.
it's close, but I think Pot's been,
Pot's been in the
for
squad. I mean, to be
yeah.
fair, strict calm, but not as recently, I feel like.
I think maybe Trincao's a bigger name to call up as well, like in terms of like international stage. Like I think probably more people. I don't know. I guess more people would know Trincao than Pedro Gonzalez as well. But Gonzalo Ramos call up is weird. But like I mean, we always complain that he never plays enough strikers.
I think it's fine.
So.
I mean, we need Portugal needs forwards. So to be fair, I'm not really complaining about that. But it's not a like for like replacement, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, they had Paulinho at home and they just left him. So I don't know. That's weird to me. But yeah, thank you, Omar, as well. Pretty much asked the same question as the first one, but I really do appreciate everyone who got their questions in. Before we go on to the game, I've seen Lauren's question. I thought it might be a good talking point. And probably a lot of angry tweets at us because apparently we control the media, whatever. What happens first? Amorim walks, Amorim sacked. Danny, take it away.
I mean, walks, right? That's the only logical explanation here.
He's never getting sacked, in my opinion.
I hope so. I'm with you. He doesn't. He never deserves to. Well, I won't say never deserves, but he doesn't deserve so far to get sacked. Though he's the one that throws in Ishgayu. He's not the one that tells Ishgayu to do these fucking idiotic things that he does. So I think he'll walk.
About the Emodine thing, I feel like he, like, obviously and rightfully so, he gets a lot of credit for building up the squad. The squad is, anyone could have looked at the squad list this year and told you that it's short in a lot of areas. Like, is that on
we've
him?
Been saying it since day one.
Is it on him? Is it on lack of funds? Like, I don't know. I feel like I don't know how much of it his fault that the squad being as short as it is his fault, and how much is out of his control.
Yeah, I agree, but just because the whole French campaign of presidential was I bought Amorim, I gambled with Amorim, and it worked off. If you fire Amorim, and like obviously, I can't look into the future. He might he might go out and play the Braga coaches release clause again, or do something like that. Or would you? I think he probably will, to be honest. But
I was gonna ask, who do you guys think once he goes? Because I think we're all in agreement. After this year, he's gone. Who's Sporting's next coach? I have two in mind, and Sam, you just said one of them. I might go back to Braga. Go ahead, Sam. Gattuso, nice.
I was gonna say I don't know if he'll come back to Portugal this early, but Abel, like,
that was the other option I was thinking.
That would be a good
academy player.
I don't know if
I'm here for Abel too. I wouldn't mind Abel.
I think his stock's too high at the moment because he won what? Did he win back-to-back Libertadores or like got to the final?
Is that even an upgrade for him right now?
No, I don't think so. I don't.
From Palmeiras, it's always better to play. It's always better to coach in Europe than it is.
It is, but I feel like he has the potential to get like a Premier League team or something like that.
Yeah.
From Palmeiras, I don't think so.
He's won the Libertadores.
I'm with you. But who's that? What's his name from River Plate? The Argentinian dude. Always linked to Barcelona, never goes. Why is his name slipping my mind? But he's also a good manager, and he's won more than maybe minus the Libertadores, but he's won almost everything with River Plate. Actually, I think he did win the Libertadores.
Yeah, they went to the Club World Cup before.
Yeah, so and he's hasn't gone yet. I think Abel has more of a chance. Gallardo, there we go. Thank you, Felipe. He has more of a chance to do Premier League move from Sporting than he does at Palmeiras. Especially because Palmeiras this year hasn't been doing.
Yeah,
so well.
I couldn't see.
Scolari just knocked them out.
I couldn't see Abel to the Prem, to be honest, but I could see Abel maybe to
France,
Syria,
La Liga, yeah. Sporting. I see him coming to Sporting. Or Porto.
I would take him, to be honest.
I would take him too.
What
you guys call me crazy.
Pereira?
I hope no. But on the same vein though, for Vitor Pereira, you guys are gonna call me crazy. You know who I would take, who I hope gets sacked soon?
You're gonna say George Jesus.
Sergio Conceição. Sportingista at heart. I'd take him any day of the week at Sporting. I hope they sack him soon.
No, he would not. He would never work for Varane.
George
We'll
Jesus
see.
is not getting sacked, bro. He's flying high.
Yeah, he's yeah.
But they got knocked out of Europe though, didn't they? They got
Nah,
lost in
bro,
the
we'll forget
qualifying.
about that.
They're in they're in Europa though.
I thought they were in conference.
He just told a guy, he
Or is
was
it
like,
over?
"Oh, you use your throat too much or some shit." Remember that meme that was
Yeah.
going around?
Oh yeah,
That was in Europa,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken. Maybe conference. Let me double check.
yeah. I
Pretty
feel
sure
like
it's
if he
Europa.
does get a new coach, like we're bringing out the big names, I reckon he's gonna shop in the league maybe and get someone like
Yeah,
either
maybe.
Vieira or someone like that. Or yeah. But Chris, I don't know if you answered, but do you think he definitely walks before he's sacked? Do you think he'd ever be sacked?
I think he could be sacked, but it would have to be really bad because it's just not a good look for the administration, and
Mhm.
you know, it makes a lot of their best and most potent talking points kind of void in a way. So I don't think that they would really ever pull trigger on that.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I agree.
And he would probably resign at a certain point just to save himself. Like at a certain point, it's like is it so much even a given? Like at the beginning of the season, we were almost like giving it as a given, like he's going to upgrade after the season. But if Sporting starts to tank and tank and tank, at some point, like he starts to lose some stock, and it's like maybe not so obvious that some bigger team is going to guaranteed come in, let alone like pay a release clause or something like that. Like no one's paying any release clauses for him anytime soon. Like that's not going to
Oh
happen.
yeah.
If he continues to do well in Europe, and let's say we make it to the 16, or like I don't know, even if we drop down to Europa League and do like a little campaign there, his stock will still be high because most people don't even know we lost to Boavista last week. Like the Spurs fans haven't mentioned it, probably Frankfurt fans haven't mentioned it. All they know is the big stage, which is the Champions League.
But if we finish fourth, they're gonna mention that. They're
Yeah.
gonna mention, oh, he won the league, but then finished fourth in the Farmers League or some shit like that. You know?
Yeah. I feel like and it's so Sporting, like the season that we finished seventh, like if it starts to go down that path, he's just gonna bounce because at a certain point, his continuing to be attached to a terrible project like that only hurts his stock further. You know.
Yeah,
But then
it's
it comes to the
project
thing
as well.
That's true. But then it comes to, will Varandas accept a mutual termination after spending 14 million, expecting to sell him again to a big club? That's the thing I'm not sure of. I don't think he lets him walk.
I think so, just because
maybe
imagine if he had to sack him, he would probably have to pay even more to do that. I think he would let him.
Probably.
Fair.
It depends on the manner, I suppose. Like if he's like, I'm like, I don't know, we can't do any more with this. Like I brought the players in, we're not winning. Like it's me, I need to go. Then I guess like but
I don't see Amorim saying that, especially when he bitched like a few weeks ago of them letting go Mateus Nunes. He'll never say it's me. I took this team so far. I hope not, at least, because he doesn't deserve to attach himself to this shit.
He can always fall back on the excuse of like they did shit that they didn't want me to do. When they let me do things my way, it worked, and then they didn't let me do as much. They didn't give me the budget I wanted, and now see, look how bad it is. So
yeah, and all of this makes me worry that one day he's back at Benfica.
Oh, he's there, I think, already. No matter if he leaves, he gets sacked, he stays for 10 years.
I think it's sooner now than ever before.
He has a 40-year managerial career ahead of him.
Exactly. Yeah. That's true. That's fair.
He's going to end up there eventually.
That's true. That's true. I was hoping he had the Jose Mourinho route where he does what he has to do in Portugal and then he never comes back.
He never looks back. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Could still happen.
Did Mourinho go to all three? So you want him to go to Porto and Benfica as well?
Well, no, not like that. But you know what I mean. He did what he did with Porto and then he left. Well, he was assistant at Sporting. That doesn't really count.
Yeah.
And his 3 months at Benfica didn't really count either.
Yeah.
His career started at Union Leiria.
Yeah, if Amorim, I mean, I don't know. I guess, like you said, it's a long career, but especially like with Roger Schmidt doing so well at Benfica as well in Europe and league, like unless he gets poached, which I probably could see happen, to be fair. But
his name's already linked to Juve, if I'm not mistaken.
Bro, everyone's name is linked to Juve.
Yeah, everyone's name.
I think Amorim's is actually.
That's true too. Well. That's another thing that wouldn't surprise me if he ends up at like Juve or what's a project that's failing currently. Only really one that comes to mind.
Juve's a good one.
Juve's a big one, yeah.
Bayern
Leicester,
Munich.
you reckon, or is that too far for him? Because they're like dead last, aren't they, in the Prem?
Who? Everton?
Leicester, sorry.
Leicester?
Yeah.
Leicester's another name that maybe Mourinho could go to.
They
I can see that.
just sold a player for 90 million, so that's what I'll say. That's
Fofana,
70
yeah.
million in the
But they can
transfer
promise him in like January they're gonna get Paulinho and these guys, and I bet he's in, bro.
No, that'd be crazy if Leicester bought Paulinho
That would be
after
insane.
buying some money from us and having that blow up.
And Adrian.
And
Leicester would take up like 3 of like the top 5 or top 10 transfers.
Ruben Amorim in the championship, bro. Or he would save him, bro. He would save him.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think they have any wins yet, to be honest. I think they have 1 point.
Let's see.
To your comment as well, Richard. I believe now these two correct me if I'm wrong if they know. Varandas did reach out to him before he appointed Amorim, or even before he appointed Silas, maybe. And I believe Mourinho replied with like, "I'm not going to that circus" or something like saying. Like
yeah,
that.
yeah. He said in Portugal in general, but I think what Richard's talking about was years ago. We were gonna get Mourinho after he left Benfica, or maybe he was still at Leiria. Maybe he was at Leiria, and fans were like, "There's clips of this on YouTube." Fans were like, "No, he coached Benfica. We don't want that guy. He's not good." Blah blah blah. Blah. Then he fucked off to Porto and did what he did. So sometimes they're our biggest enemies.
And also, we missed this. He probably might end up at Wolves. Amorim, that is.
Oh, true. Yeah, Wolves aren't doing that great either. There's
They
all
moved
Matheus
up a
Nunes
little bit, but yeah, they're still a little too close to the drop.
17th. They're just above relegation for now.
Yeah,
still early.
Without any other further ado, I suppose we'll get into the main topic of this podcast, which was the loss to Boavista. Let me just get my screen and I'll share that. Oh, no, in a sec. There we go. Cool. So it was a 2-1 loss to Boavista at the Bessa. I'll just zoom in so everyone can see. Cool. So in goal, we had Adan, Gonzalo Inacio, Coates, Matheus Reis, Nuno Santos, Pedro Porro, Ugarte, Morita, Pedro Gonçalves, Marcus Edwards, who got the goal for Sporting, and Trincao. Goal point gave Ugarte man of the match for Sporting. But Chris, to start off with you, what are your overall thoughts on the game?
I guess just like as a top line note, I thought Boavista honestly looked dangerous off the break. For the entire game, they had chances to score. They smacked the bar as well right after our disallowed goal. Like they had chances. They had some dangerous attackers, and obviously they have this super sub off the bench, just like living this like Cinderella story of 100% goal contributions every time he comes off the bench. So yeah, competing with a lot of factors here. Still, I feel like the main loss for us is, I mean, we did have the ball, as we mentioned, in the back of the net in the first 30 minutes. That was like, I feel like when we had our best chances, we were definitely like on top of the game. And then obviously they looked dangerous off the break, but we were dominating that entire like first half hour, and nothing to show for it is tough. We hit the bar off that like weird goal line scramble as well. Yeah, I mean we had chances, and then it just felt like one of those games where they keep getting too many chances off the break. They keep looking too dangerous that like it feels impossible for them not to score. And sure enough, they score an absolute world-class goal right before halftime, if I recall correctly. Great run by, I think his name's Kenji or something like that. Dude was dangerous like the entire game. And he absolutely cooked, I think it was Inacio, and then took a shot, it got blocked, and this dude just fucking volleyed it upper 90. Not much you can do about that. And then, yeah, I mean, we did well to get back in the game early enough in the second half, but I just felt like it wasn't ever as dynamic in that second half as it was in that initial period of the game. We obviously still had some chances in the second half, but yeah, then the incident happens, and from there we're just fighting for the draw. Referee tried his best to give us the plus, plus 10. Poro's dive outside the box, I think, so it wouldn't even have mattered. We were fishing for that 99th minute pen as well, but just not there. We were obviously, as well, very obviously missing our main reliable late game forward. Kawats had pulled up with an injury, so we didn't even have our main aerial threat. So they're just pumping balls in there, and just the main threat is just not there. It was noticeable. Yeah, it's just a tough, ugly loss. These boys have taken points off the big three at the Bessa in recent years. To be honest, they have a decent squad this year. We're now 5 points behind them. Yeah, it's a tough one to swallow, especially after the Tottenham game midweek. But yeah, it's just not good enough. It's not finishing at a high enough level. It's not creating enough clear-cut chances. Yeah, it's the opposite of the title run. It is the complete opposite,
Yeah, fair enough. Danny, do you have any other thoughts? What were your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, no, Chris hit the nail right on the head. Exactly that. I think even in general, I think this might be one of the first games in the Portuguese league, aside from the top 6, that we have less XG as our opponent. Because lately we've been good at that, especially even this year and last year, even though we haven't been finishing. I think the biggest thing with the Amorim era is how clinical we aren't. Because we should have still buried this game, even though like I said last week, like Chris just said, Boavista this year are good, and even still we should have beat them. We had enough chances to beat them. Bro, I thought we lost the game when Nuno Santos came off. Not to mention Coates. I know Coates' injury was huge, but Nuno Santos coming off I thought was really big. I thought he was our best player. Beautiful assist, but before that he was, he's been doing lately, just hustling up and down that left flank. I've been crying about a center back. We've been crying about a center back for months now. That game showed why are we playing Yishgayu at center back? What does Marsa need to do, or any other academy kid need to do?
How bad are they in training?
Sorry, how bad? Yeah, exactly. How bad are they in training?
Can he just not stop anybody?
Exactly. It's just so it's so. And me and Chris were actually talking about this the other day about Arteta putting in a 15-year-old, and there's I seen this I think it was on TalkSport. Some guy just saying it's all ego. Arteta just wants to be the manager that put the youngest player on the pitch. Blah blah blah. And I mean, to a degree, I'm not saying Amorim is this, but to a degree, maybe it is, because he plays a Sugu, we never see him again. That first season, I understand we had lesser options, but we've got Quaresma.
Rodrigo Ribeiro in a Champions League game.
Rodrigo Ribeiro in the Champions League. We also put Sugu in the Champions League as well. Esteves. I think he put Esteves, who's the youngest player in the Champions League, followed by Esteves, Dario, youngest player in the Champions League, immediately after. And it's you're not giving Marsa a chance. Exactly to Chris's point. How bad is he? And if he is that bad, why did we not reinforce more? Why are we not looking, even if it's a kid or something, like a cheaper option? I understand, we were making loads of money, but we still have none of it. Okay, sure. Why aren't we looking at other options just for depth? Because Neto is 30-something. Coates has been playing nonstop for the last 2 seasons. This is expected. We can't blame players for getting injured. Poto injury prone. Luckily, he's been good so far. Inacio has been having a season that is unrecognizable. I don't know if the pressure has gone to him with all the Newcastle and Man United links. He looks that first goal. He sort of just, I know it didn't directly come from him, but he sort of gives up on the play, has Coates sort of running after the player. And then after a few bounces, the ball finds its way to the top of the box. Fair enough, it was a great goal. But the fact that the ball found its way there, I thought it was because Inacio just didn't hustle back and Coates was pulled out of position. And then, the penalty. Is it a penalty? Is it not a penalty? There's still contact. Ishgayu is stupid for doing what he's doing. Like the Boavista kid, who's been known for coming on and changing the game, has his back towards goal. Why are you lunging your foot out like that? I've been defending Ishgayu all this time here. This play, I can't. This season, in general, I can't. It was horrible. At the back, something that we used to be so reliable at, it was horrible. And I know he had that minute, and I'm done after this. I know he had that minute sensation. Artur, when he came on, looked pretty bad. He was just trying to like fucking dance his way in because he was so confident off Tottenham that he thought he can just, dance his way into the box. And 9 times out of 10, the ball was taken away from him. And then after they scored that goal and he kept on doing that, it was just wasting more time. And then obviously this is the Portuguese league. From the 17 minutes we had, because it was 97 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, they scored in the 80th. From the 17 minutes we had to try to get an equalizer, of course, with the Portuguese league being as it is, we played maybe like 5 minutes of it, and 3 minutes was Artur losing the ball. So thank you for the minute, I guess, though, but I don't have high expectations for Artur anymore. Disappointing. It was just disappointing. I'm done.
Yeah, I'm not going to repeat too much what you said, but yeah, you both were spot on. But I'm going to focus more. Like I said, I don't like blaming the one player, but it's not even as a guy I'm going to go for. It's Inacio, man. You said this season. I think even last season, the game against Santa Clara, I believe, he was at fault for the goal. And what annoys me so much, he's so protected among like the Sporting fan base. If Neto did half the things he did, everyone would be on him straight away. Same with Esgaio. Like I understand Esgaio deserves is the wrong word, but he has some brain dead moments, and I understand. But Inacio is so protected of some of the stuff he does. That first goal, he does give up. He lunges in too early, and then lets Coates deal with it. Coates, you can say why is he slid because like the ball's either going to go out of play or it's going to go across him either way. But like I don't blame Coates for that. But Inacio, the last 2 seasons, man, I don't see the 40 million player that everyone else sees. I don't see a rocket centre back. I genuinely would rather have Matheus Reis, Coates, and probably Neto at this point, or St. Just. I think it's time that he needs to be dropped. And like you can say the same
he's undroppable though because there's so little depth.
Yeah,
I know
he was dropped that one game.
Yeah, exactly.
The one game we had everybody.
Yeah, exactly. So apparently St. Just is coming back for Gil. If that is true and Coates is still fit, I want to see Matheus Reis, Coates, and St. Just. But or St. Just and Neto if he's fit as well. But yeah, for me, Inacio is just I can't defend him anymore. It's just so like brain dead defending stuff you're taught when you're like 10, 11. Like don't sell yourself, stay with your man, don't give up on a play. Like Danny said, I don't know if it's something like confidence issue or like
are just constantly calamities waiting to happen. Adana's low-key calamities waiting to happen still. Like he's like still hasn't even fucked up as bad as like he's going to fuck up very soon.
And this game he's fucked up. And this game we can't put any blame on Adan,
No, but like he just with his feet he turns it over. He constantly puts in bad spots, bro. I don't know. Remember
Inacio is another one Inacio's another one that on his feet. There's times where he looks like he's great on his feet, and then there's times where he's just giving the ball to the defenders. It's really bad, and this season especially. And you're right, Sam. Even last season, like it was. Some of his plays were horrific on his feet.
Yeah. And I think Coates as well. I mean, you can sort of see the similarity of the drop-off of him, but I think his one is more injuries. Like last year, like you said, he's been playing for 2 years straight, and even I think, is it knee tendonitis he has? He has something wrong with his knee that is obviously going to get worse with age and the more you play. So he's sort of excused, and he's also the captain as well. But like, man, Inacio to me recently has just been awful. And Esgaio as well, man. Like you said, what more does Marsa have to do? Is he bad in training? Is he got an attitude problem? I know he come from La Masia, maybe something that's where it is. But like, if not, like Danny said, if not Master, bring someone else, buy someone else. There's
if he's not the best young center back, then just who's ever the best young center back is then. If you think Mars is the third best young center back, then call up the best
second,
one.
who's the first? Yeah.
Yeah. We bought that guy from Mexico, Jesus
Alcantar.
Alcantar.
Alcantar's better, bro. Call him up. We don't care, dude.
Yeah, just someone who can play centre back. You know what? If let's say if Master came on this game and was a bad centre back, okay, and like he gave her the penalty, fine. You know, it happened, his position, but like playing someone out of position, that's where I feel a bit sorry for this guy. He's playing as a centre back. That's not him. That's not his position. That he's not going to be as well there. He's also small for a centre back as well, which I guess you could say the same with Matthew's race. But like, if you're not used to playing in a position, then you're not going to do well. But man, as guy on that play, man, I know obviously we have the benefit of hindsight, 50-50. We can watch it from a sofa for a chair. But like, man, he did not need to make that tackle at all. And I guess we'll get on to that challenge. I'll ask you guys, all of you, was that a penalty? Chris, do you think it was 100% a penalty?
I definitely think that he goes down easily from the contact, but it's not a decision that's ever going to get overturned by the VAR because you can clearly see that he tries to kick the ball and doesn't miss. He misses and kicks his foot. It's the classic Taremi penalty. I mean, if you're in the box in Portugal and you feel that kick on the foot when someone's going for the ball, go down. I mean, it's going to work more often than it's not. So fair play to the kid for being 18. This is like his 5th game, and he already knows the drill.
Yeah, Danny.
Not the perfect dive, right? Because if you watch it, you can see that he like hesitates for a second and then goes down. But you know, with age, with practice, he'll work that out. But fair play to him, to be honest.
Yeah, Danny, are you in the same boat as the penalty?
Yeah, it's a Portuguese league penalty, especially because there is that bit of contact, but that's enough, I think, in this country to call a penalty. So I think it's fair. Like there is contact. This guy goes for the ball and doesn't get it at all. Yeah, I just watched it back. He literally, as his foot is going down, he's like, "Should I dive? Should I dive? Okay, I'm diving."
Yeah, he thinks about
it. You see it. Yeah,
dive smartly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. It's a pen.
Yeah, for me, 100%. And like, I know you said that's a League of Win Portuguese penalty, but for me, I think that's given anywhere. If you're dumb enough to make that challenge, then that's on you. Like, fair enough, it's definitely soft, and like 100% he goes down too easy. But if you give him the opportunity to have the contact, like you said, Tremi does it all the time, and to his credit, I know we don't like to see it, but it's part of the game. If you feel contact, you're going to go down, and if you're stupid enough to lunge in. Or in the real game where the guy, like, if you're stupid enough to put your hand up,
watches the defender's foot, and then when the defender goes to kick the ball, he sticks his foot in. That's how on another level he is with it. Taremi's the absolute go of it.
Let me just say though, I think if this doesn't get called, it's not a penalty. But because it gets called, there's not enough evidence to overturn it.
Yeah, that's true too. I don't know, man. I could honestly see him going to the monitor and calling it, to be honest.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. And like the thing I don't get is how people say like
it's the safe decision. If you're the referee,
it is. Yeah, you're right.
Decision, right?
Yeah.
There's contact, so by means,
so no one can get mad at you. You know.
Yeah, exactly. But like the people I see on social media, Twitter, Facebook, they're like, never a penalty, never. How?
Yeah,
this is the most
I don't see it.
Portuguese league penalty. My man, is this like what is your first game that you've watched? Like,
mind you, I feel like there's gonna be a play against Gil Vicente similar to this, maybe even more, and we're not getting the penalty.
Yeah.
And we have no reason to complain because as fans, if we're saying this isn't a penalty, we shouldn't get it against us. But anyways,
I just don't see how people say it's like I can get you can say it's soft and that he fell to the floor and like, he fell down, but of course it's a penalty. There is contact one, and as guys should be enough to make that contact, which is number 2. So yeah, I just couldn't believe that happened. I didn't get to watch the game live. I was at a wedding, but like I saw the notification come on my phone, and I was so annoyed. I literally just saw it. I was like 1-0, oh fine, 1-1. I was like, oh, Marcus Edwards scored. Then like I hear it buzz again. I'm like, oh yes, that's the winner. Bang, 2-1 Bovista. I was like, brilliant. So, yeah. By the way, what a cross by Nuno Santos for the goal.
Great cross.
I thought that was offside as well. It was very close.
Yeah.
But yeah, 5'6" boy scoring the header. Respect.
You could tell he wasn't really confident in the header as well. He sort of like let it just hit his head, like just bounce in.
I'm shocked nobody came out to defend that. Like the keeper wasn't quick enough off his line, or there was no defender on Edwards.
Do you reckon
unexpected.
Amorim likes those Rabona crosses, or do you think like something he likes? If he saw it in training, he'd be like, "Don't do that again." Because Nuno Santos does it a lot,
It works.
like a lot.
Crossed it with his right foot though.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's
He
fair.
opts for the Rabona over crossing it with his right foot.
Right.
Yeah, fair enough. Did you guys have a man of the match for our side, or no, Danny?
Nuno Santos. I thought him coming off changed the game, so I'm gonna give it to Nuno. He did well this game again.
Chris, what about you?
Yeah, he was good as well. I'm gonna go with Marcus Edwards, to be honest. He's constantly our most consistently dangerous attacker. At this point, for sure.
Yeah, fair enough. I'll go with Nuno Santos as well, because I gave the one against Spurs, I believe, to Marcus Edwards, so I'll give this one to Nuno Santos. But yeah, that's it for the game. Do you guys want to get into the backstage Sporting reaction?
Let's do it.
Cool. Let me get that up. Just let me know if you can hear it. Did you make yours full screen last time, Danny?
I did, yeah.
Let me find my mouse.
This is they're funner for the away games for sure, because it gives you new scenery, I guess.
Yeah. Mind you, it's always the same hotel, either in Prague or Porto.
That's also cool. No matter where in the north, they're not staying in Moreira de Cónegos.
No way. Yeah. There's no hotel in that little fucking whatever that is. That little freguesia.
Cool. Let me know if it's too loud or too quiet, but I'll play it now. Yeah, I think that's all right. Can you guys hear that?
I can hear
barely.
that.
Yeah.
Very good. Wow.
Weird little handle on that.
Yeah, for real. What is that? Nespresso
Very
coffee?
artistic.
They got Nespressos out in Europe or what?
I love that Sporting shirt that Dan was wearing.
Yeah,
by the way.
I'm feeling like if I'm at the store, that's going to be one of the things that's going to be hard to not buy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I picked that up. I'm not wearing it today, but it's in my wardrobe. It's really comfortable as well, actually.
Polo or shirt or sweatshirt?
Even the hoodie, yeah.
Just the shirt. I want to get the hoodie of it as well, but they're expensive. I think they're like €60 for the hoodie.
I've been to the stadium. I did the official tour here. It's cool.
I've only been on the outside actually. Like last year when I went to
looks like weird on the outside.
I like it. I kind of like it.
Right, yeah.
There's like that little pole with the panther and shit like that. It's pretty nice.
It doesn't really look like a normal stadium from the outside.
No.
I didn't realize we were wearing new shorts as well, because I remember last year, didn't we just wear black shorts all the time? Or did we have
I think
different
we
colours?
shorts this season.
Mm.
I just hate on the home kit. It has that slit.
Oh yeah, on the side,
Yeah.
on the leg, yeah.
Look like swim trunks a little bit, or women's shorts, honestly.
Look at this guy.
I'll don't even show their goal.
They're not showing their banger. They didn't show the pyrotechnic display either.
Bang. That was nice.
Yeah, that was nice.
Bro, Marcus was like so surprised that went in. Oh, he was close to saving that. I've not actually seen the penalty, but that was.
He did. He did get. He went the right
He was
way.
the same size. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad.
Arturo losing the ball quickly.
Bro, I'm surprised they clapped the players, especially after the recent result. I'm not saying they shouldn't, but
yeah,
surprising.
Ugarte was a brutally honest post-game interview.
was very uneventful. 2 minutes 38. So
Yeah, it's a quick one
not
for
bad.
that. It's a quick one for that.
But yeah, I was just gonna preface this on by we got some news today that Paulinho is has 2 weeks to get fully fit and meet some certain goals, whatever those goals are. I don't know, and that he might be able to start next game against Gil Vicente. Chris, I'll start off with you. Who does get dropped, and do you think it should be? Do you think someone should be dropped? Do you think Paulinho should still come off the bench?
I feel like he gives us at least a different dynamic, a different look than we have had. He gives us a bigger presence up front. Hold up play is definitely better than anyone of the three forwards. To be fair, Potts probably played the worst of those three. But the thing is Edwards does kind of like his play level, like I feel like drops as the game goes on. So he probably makes the most sense to bring off the bench, even if he is the most arguably dynamic and in the best form out of the three. So it's kind of tough, you know.
Yeah, that's fair. Danny, are you in the same boat?
You said Pot off, Chris?
I said I think it should be Pothoff, but I think Edwards probably makes the most sense.
Fair. I think it's I agree with you, though I think it's gonna be Pot drop like to the midfield and Morita gets dropped.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Morita is he's a good player, man. He has his moments, but
average.
It's not enough. It's not enough to be.
He doesn't push the ball forward enough for me.
Regardless his role, and he has to be the creator. He has to be the ball playing wizard, and he's good, but he's not at the level that we need to go the places that we want to go. You know.
Yeah, which is a shame because Bragança got injured. Because I don't think we would have. Who knows? Maybe we still would have, but I don't think we lose these games like the Chaves and Boavista if Bragança stays. Even Porto, I don't think we get battered if Bragança stays, right?
Well, even in that first season when Bragança was there, we scored a lot of goals in like the late 90s and like the late 80s because he came on.
Yeah.
But yeah, who knows? It could have also just been luck, right? Like he wasn't directly involved in most of those goals, but
he was
I'm with you.
Definitely involved in the build-up of a lot of them, though.
Yeah. Fair. That's fair.
But yeah, I don't know. It's difficult because I feel like we're not doing awful offensively. It's the defense that worries me because we've been scoring a lot, bar the Porto and Chaves game, I suppose. But like we scored 3 against Estoril. Was it 3 against Rio Ave as well?
We scored 3 against Braga.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think it's an attacking issue. So maybe keep Paulinho on the bench for now. Obviously, I think with the amount of competitions we're going to play, because I believe we get back. And we played Gil Vicente. There's also maybe a Taça da Liga or Taça da Portugal game coming up. So yeah, maybe it will be time to start Paulinho in those type of games, or maybe just to give Edwards a rest coming off Europe. Or I think probably Edwards makes the most sense, but I also agree with Danny saying move Pot back as number 8. And I mean, if Ugarte plays in the international break as well, maybe it's his time to rest. Like if he plays 90 minutes, so. But yeah,
I even want to see a bit more of Sutidij, at least to start a game. Let's see. Yeah.
Oh yeah, true. And like, not lie, more of Saint Just as well. Like he played 1 game and then was injured.
Fuck. I mean,
that's the center back.
Fucking, yeah, he is one of the in the league, right? He has like 94 pace or some shit, right?
He has the 14th fastest pace, and he's the fastest.
14th fastest. God damn.
He's like 15,000 coins at the start of the game, which for a goal player is like rated what 78
or 76. Yeah.
Yes, one of those two. Yeah, it's quite.
Have you got FIFA yet? Sidetrack.
It comes out on the 27th, but like the web app and stuff from the team is out today.
Oh, okay. Because I was seeing a lot of clips of it today. I thought it came out today.
I think maybe like the streamers have it early because I don't know how they get hooked up and stuff, but yeah, just segueing on, a bowler actually ran, I believe it was their one of the front page saying that this season has been Sporting's worst start in the Liga since 2012-13. We finished that season 7th with 42 points. Now, Danny, I'll give you 2 questions here. 1, do you see something similar like that happening again? And 2, we spoke about it at the start. When when do you think, in your opinion, Amorim, what level do you think, okay, Amorim needs to go now? If we lose another, if we lose two, like what is it for you?
I mean, for Amorim going, we have to be battling relegation. In my opinion, we have to be battling relegation.
That's like impossible almost.
Which is impossible, yes. I don't see him, maybe even if it cut like we have like a bad season where we finish 7th, we're not. I hope at least we don't sack him even, because at the end of the day, yes, he won us the title. That shouldn't be enough for immunity, but he's still a great manager. We can't deny that he isn't. He's done great things for Sporting, and he's still doing great things for Sporting. It's just these games, he can't be on the pitch to play for us. And okay, he might be at fault for Ishgayu, but I don't know, man. Maybe Ishgayu was just like a god at center back in training. I can't excuse that, right? But I don't see it becoming. What was the first question? How bad do I see it getting?
Do you see it? Yeah, how bad
do I see it getting that bad? I don't see it getting that bad because we'll still pick up wins.
Well, yeah.
That season we were shambles of a club. We were, not only battling like relegation at some points, we were battling bankruptcy, and everything was at us. I would love to see a little documentary. Who was on the team at that time? I would love to see Romagnoli probably, or Bularuz. Captain America, I think, was on it.
Eric Dyer was there.
Dyer's debut came from that season. Frankie Verkouten was our manager for like 6 games. Anyways,
was up top.
Yeah, Wolf Swinkle was up top. Who was was Miguel Veloso on that team? Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Was that the season we sold him to Reading? No, sorry, I'm thinking Karisu.
Karisu, yeah.
Karisu was on that team.
He was there, I think. And I think, was it Fabian Rinaldo?
Rinaldo, yeah, he was our captain.
Shars, mate. I used to like that guy.
Eachin Stars.
I used to like. He got a lot of shit, and he wasn't great for us. I used to like Bularuz.
Stars better than Morita.
Shars was better than Morita. You're not wrong. Rinaldo,
does he still play Shars? Because I think he was all coming to us, right?
Nah, he was like 30, I think, when he came to us.
Yeah, but he was a midfielder. Those can go on to like 40.
Shars. He's currently 38. Let's see. Nah, he's been retired since 2019.
Oh,
Kieran Veen was his last club. Anyways, yeah, I don't see it getting that bad. But mind you, I think 4th Cedric debut season. Well, I think 4th. I think Tiago Lodi. Sorry, sidetrack. Tiago Lodi's debut season might be that season. I think 4th would still feel like 7th. But mind you, we're in like what, 9th right now?
10th, I think, or 8th.
8th,
yeah.
I'm actually on the table here.
Us saying 4th, like we still have a long way to climb. We're 5 points behind Boavista, right, Chris? You were saying that? I think we're now 5 points behind Portimonense again.
6
after just closing the gap. 6 for Porto.
I'll zoom in a bit if I can.
Okay. Casa Pia's ahead of us. I'm sure Ruben Amorim will fuck off and go there. Estoril's doing well too. Shout out Gonçalo Luís Teves for breaking homophobic barriers in the Portuguese league. Keep it pushing, brother.
Thank you.
Just in time for Qatar.
Yeah, just in time for. But yeah, man, that's. I don't think it's getting that bad. But 4th, man, even if we finish 5th is not out of the books right now. Yeah. Anyways, I'm done.
Chris, same 2 questions to you. Do you see it getting bad? And is there going to be a point for you where you're like, Amorim, like, thank you for the memories, like the famous meme, thank you for the memories, but goodbye?
I actually don't think it's going to get that bad this season. But I don't rule out the potential for it to get that bad in the future, in the post-Amorim era. Because the post-Amorim era is approaching soon. And it feels impossible to predict that it's going to go better than the pre-Amorim or the during Amorim era. There's a title in there. There's some trophies. It definitely seems like we're trending in the wrong direction right now. But yeah, we'll see. You never know. There could be a couple of youngsters that develop and come out of the academy, really bolster the team. But yeah, we are basically kind of hoping for something out of the ordinary to happen to change the trajectory of the season. Because yeah, I think like fourth or fifth could be possible, which would still qualify us for Europe. And who knows, if there's a cup or run in either of the other domestic competition.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it now, just looking at the table, let's say if we win our next two, and Portuguese, Boavista, Caspia, Estoril lose their next two, then we're back in fourth. I know, but that probably won't happen. But it doesn't look that bad when you look at it that way. But we've got to win our games. It's not as easy as me just saying it. But yeah, I think, and I don't know, it's difficult for me because if obviously fourth and fifth, looking at it now is okay, but from the start of the season, expectations is a disaster. Especially if we let Braga finish above us. No, I mean, I shout Dave. I love Dave. He's a great guy. If you're watching as well, but we took Braga's. We took Paulinho. We took their manager. We took Esgaio. I'm sure we pretty much took Paulinho back from them as well. And then they've got invested that money in like Banza. They've managed to keep Ricardo Horta. They've got a great team. And if that's the money they made from reinvesting in the money we gave them, then that looks awful on our part as well. Obviously, season's still early, and people are saying that Braga eventually do step up. But I think that will be a disaster. I think it's Benfica's league to lose at the minute, and I think it has been from the start of the season. That they made the best signings. They didn't lose that many. They lost Darwin, who I didn't really rate anyway, and most Benfica fans didn't really rate anyway.
Ramos seems like he's better than him anyways.
I mean, I rated him, but not
not 80 million.
Starter on the team that wins the Champions League,
Yeah.
He could play in the Portuguese league if he wants and be pretty decent, But yeah, it's tough ask of him what he's been asked to do.
Yeah, and because obviously Porto lost to Fabio Vieira, Vitinha. They also lost Mbemba on a free. So those are arguably the three most important players last year. I know Tremi's obviously a great player, Evan Nilsson and so on. But those were big losses. And then for us, obviously Paulinho, Matias Nunes, Tabata coming off the bench. We lost a lot as well. Whereas Benfica pretty much they did lose, but they reinvested that smartly. Obviously got the new manager in, Roger Schmidt, who seems to be pretty good. So yeah, I think for me it's disappointing. Fourth or fifth, obviously, is a disaster. Third, I would take right now. I probably would have taken at the start of the season. I think that's where I predicted us to come. So yeah, I think we've got to push for third, and otherwise the season's a disaster. I didn't expect to win the title with the team we had anyway. But like I said, third in a domestic cup, Taça da Liga. What's that? 3? Is it three back-to-backs, right? Or did someone else win it? I can't remember. But yeah, it should be.
We didn't win it last year, did we?
Yeah, we did. We beat Benfica in the final.
Last year?
Yeah.
Oh, we did. Yes, we did. You're right.
And then the year before, we beat. Did we beat? Was it Porto? Or was it Benfica?
No, yeah. Braga, Porto in the semis.
Yeah.
Jovan.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and we didn't win anything in the 90s. Yeah, so 3 back-to-back. So yeah, I mean, I'll take a Taça da Liga in third place. I still have Chris. Do you know if it's automatic qualification this year? Or is it just the first 2 and then third drops to Europa? Do you know?
It is. It's still the top 2 this year, but it's probably going to be the last year of it, depending on how the season finishes out.
Okay.
For next season, it could potentially change if the new ones finishes above us, which they are currently above us.
Yeah.
But we still have 5 teams in the thing, so we'll see what happens. Or 4, I mean.
But yeah, I think if we push for third and get a domestic, I think it's a successful season, to be honest, considering what we lost and what we invested. And I think, our team is still quite young. That Alexander is what, 23, 22, if even that. Obviously, Inacio still 21. We have Esteves coming back from developing a Estoril. We've still got a good young team that for the future. I mean, but obviously, I would like to win titles, but this year, I think everyone says a lot of it will be played, but there is no way, no way we're
not winning the title. 11 points from Benfica. There's no way.
And Benfica flipping up like that.
Yeah, exactly. And they have a fucking incredible team this year. And my only other thing that I was going to
And they're
mention,
getting PKs in the 99th minute off dude's back. So
that helps. Yeah, that also helps. I was going to mention the other thing that makes this Boavista thing hurt even more again. We would have been 2 from Porto. And Porto, while we face Gil Vicente, and that's not a tough task at all, they're only 1 point behind us. Porto's facing Braga. So that's 2 teams that's above us that will lose points, right? One of them at least will lose points. So
I'll be there against Gil Vicente.
nice.
You're gonna bring up your
That's at home, right? That's at home.
Dame a tua camisola.
You said it was a home, yeah?
That was at home, yeah.
But Porto's playing Braga at home.
First
right
game
after.
after the international break, I believe.
For
Are you going during the international break?
I could try to go to the game against Spain in Braga, which is on Tuesday, but I'll probably have to pay an exorbitant resale price for the ticket and have to go to Braga and then buy a hotel in Braga. So we'll see.
Sure.
It depends if we decide to go up north yet.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't know if there's anything else you guys wanted to add. I know it's been a lot to talk about, but I can't think of anything else to add unless you guys have anything.
Nothing for me, man.
Chris?
Sadly, nothing else.
I guess we'll.
I didn't have the opportunity to do the modalities either. So in 2 weeks, we'll have a big catch up on everything.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Well, thank you all for joining us. Definitely a sadder episode today with the last result. We'll probably take a break, this international break, with pretty much the league as well. So we'll probably be back in 2 weeks reviewing the Gil Vicente game. I don't know if there's a Champions League game the following week, but if there is, we'll probably cover that as well. If you want to. Oh, is it the same week?
Sorry.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Marseille away, right?
Marseille away, yeah. And Marseille play away at Angers. So that's another thing to keep eye on. They just tied against Rennes. So, anyways.
Yeah, sounds good. If you wanted to follow any of the guys, make sure to follow them here. You can follow Chris down below. You can follow Danny here as well. You can follow myself here as well. But make sure to follow at Sporting160_EN. Same with TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. TikTok's been doing pretty well recently, so thank you for the love. And if you don't have time to watch all these episodes in a row, like I know that an hour, like people have better stuff to do than listen to 3 guys talk about sporting. We post all our highlights on TikTok. So if you ever do have like a spare 3-4 minutes, we'll post it there. But anyway, yeah, thank you all for joining, and hopefully next episode will be a bit more happier. But thank you for watching.
Oh, and to answer the question, I don't live in Portugal, but I am visiting on Friday for 10 days. So if you live in Portugal,
buy Chris a drink.
boy.
Yeah, hopefully Chris is our lucky charm when we're out there. So yeah, hopefully they're unbeaten while Chris is there. But anyway, boys, peace.
Peace.